I want to sort of formally welcome everybody. And if you're able to jump on video, that would be awesome. We'd love to see your face. This is intended to be interactive and really like reminding you that you guys, like, you matter, your lives matter, what you're up to, your thoughts and beliefs. Like, you really have something not only to say, but to do to really make a difference in this crazy world. So I just want to really thank you and welcome you for coming. So as you may know what you've stepped into. So this is a complimentary masterclass put on by Visions Internships. Visions Internships is my startup baby that I started, bits and pieces many years ago, but I guess formally launched it when I actually, like many people, lost the big job in 2020. And I returned to what I really, really love doing most, which is to really stand for young people's greatness and really help you guys just navigate what's going on. This is a really, I'll say, predictably unpredictable world. There's a lot of uncertainty. Sometimes you might feel like you're all alone. And really what I love to do best is to inspire you, guide you, connect you guys. So I came up with this solution really with young professionals ages 19 to 29 in mind. And then we also, just from my background in about 20 years of community development work, I've worked with a ton of organizations that, guys, believe it or not, they can't find the people they need. They really need talent. They need project support. And they perhaps have tried to navigate that, work with the colleges, what have you. But it's tricky because they often lack the time to actually find you, train you, manage you, although they want that. So I'm stepping in to help both organizations and young people, which is really a nice sort of intersection for me. And we realized that this is, it's a really powerful, big idea. And we wanted to start really with just bringing a sort of a conversation to the young people that is a standalone event. So today's masterclass is its own thing. Nobody has to do anything. This is not some weird sales pitch, all right? But we will be introducing the Visions Internships program opportunity. We will have 12 spots available for the upcoming summer program. So I am still keeping it small and affordable. And so I want you guys to know what that is, but don't be fixated, like feeling like you need to do anything. You're whole and complete just as you are. Today's event is, again, it's a masterclass that we're calling What's Your Plan? Positioning for Success During and After College. And if you're wondering, some of you may be in college still. Maybe you've taken some time off college. Maybe you've recently graduated or you're about to graduate. And if that's the case, guys, big congratulations. We know that graduates from 2020 and 2021 are definitely, they have their work cut out for them. It's a particularly bizarre time to graduate. And so we felt like, you know, even though when I first started the idea of Visions Internships for my startup social enterprise, I was initially thinking I really wanted to support the sophomores, juniors, seniors that were currently in school who never really quite got around to getting an internship and lacked the real world experience and connections in your field. That was initially the thought. But when COVID hit, it was like, and actually I got a lot of great feedback from people like Leah and other people that are in their, you know, mid and even like later 20s. It's like, you know what, I may have already graduated, but like, I'm really not sure what I'm doing and I need some support. So that was the idea. So we extended the young people, the age range up to 29. So if you know people 19 to 29 years old, it's all good. Everybody's in a different situation. Some people, you know, maybe you question going to college or you decided college wasn't for you. And we're not an organization that is requiring you to even necessarily be a college graduate. Like even if you've exposed yourself to college, even one college course, and you are just sort of trying to navigate what's so, we're here for you. So you don't, there's not a lot of, you don't have to be one certain way. I want you guys to know that you are whole, complete, and perfect with exactly who you are and how you are. And we often, just as humans, we tend to, just being human, we run up against different barriers to our full self-expression. So if we do decide to work together sort of more long-term, I want you guys to know that, you know, you are whole and complete and you have different things that are sort of in your way. So we're going to identify some barriers today during this masterclass. And if you do decide to do the program later in the summer, you know, you're going to get a lot more support in this area of like really becoming your best self and getting the support that you want to really give your best self to the world, right? So I'm going to get off my little rampage. I get very passionate, and especially because I know a lot of you guys from different programs and classes. So I tend to just like gush my heart out. So I'm going to sort of try to stay on track. We do want to move into some introductions here in a moment, but let me share my screen, everybody. And I'm going to share a little presentation. Some of you know, especially, gosh, if you were in my classes, you guys know that the last thing I like to do is like teach from a PowerPoint presentation. So bear with me. These are just slides as guides, is like what I like to say. So this is our brand. So this is my new company called Visions Internships, and our working tagline is co-creating a world that works. So you and those other partners and peers and professionals, like we are co-creating, we are creating together a world that works. And we do want you guys to feel like you're living into an inspiring future. And as you know, today, believe it or not, is April 9th. So 2021, I just can't even get over it. Where is the time going? Okay, so here is the basic game plan, guys, for today. So I just want you to, again, know that this is a guide. We may stray off a little bit, that's okay. But overall, we're looking to do a quick overview. We're looking to do introductions. So these will be participatory, so interactive introductions, and I will guide you guys through like what to say. So nobody panic. All good, there's no wrong answers, but we would love to get to meet you. We will be talking about 6 keys to 21st century success that I've been working and really refining and developing for many years in my work. We're going to be talking about what is purposeful work and how do we go about the business of both doing well for ourselves, including financially, and doing good or purposeful work in the world. What is that and how do we get started? We are going to be talking briefly about the Visions Internships program that is run 3 times a year. So we're just finishing our very first VIP, spring 2021, and we will get to meet Leah, who's actually in the program now, and there will be some other people, 2 or 3 others popping on, working that around their schedule because they want to meet you guys and maybe answer a few questions if you have them. I thought maybe it would be more interesting for you to hear from them rather than just me. And we won't have a ton of time, guys, but you can always connect with them on social, on LinkedIn, and follow up if that would be supportive to you. And then we're going to transition into a section that I call career conversations. So even if you don't choose to get yourself on the hot seat today, and the hot seat will not burn you, my friends, the hot seat is just an opportunity. We're hoping to have 2 people on the hot seat. This was not something that we've planned in advance, but just kind of have that in your mind if you're willing to jump on the hot seat, and I will give you a little bit of guidance, but you're guaranteed to have some sort of career breakthrough. And even if you don't put yourself on the hot seat, all good, you will have a breakthrough in the career conversations that we'll be having. And anytime that we coach each other people learn and grow as well. And then we'll have a little bit of an open discussion and Q&A so long as time permits, and I will do my very best to wrap up by 1:30 p.m. Eastern. So does anybody have any questions about what we're out to accomplish today during today's masterclass called What's Your Plan? That was a lot, right? Let's all take a deep breath. And I'm looking at your faces. I'm so happy to be with you guys. It's like so magical. So let's take a breath and just support each other. And I have to thank Leah. She's always reminding me to breathe and to check in on the well-being front, right? Because we can be in doing, but really to step back and say, like, how am I being? Because remember, we are human beings before we are anything else. We are not human doings, havings, or sayings. We are human beings. So with that said, I would love to have some brief introductions. So please, again, guys, if you're on mute, please take yourselves off mute. This is a free space for you to express yourself. Please let yourself be known. You can say your name. First name is fine. If you guys want to say where you are calling in from or zooming in from, we'd love to know where you're located. That's obviously optional. And then any little nugget, if you can share, like, give us a little sense about your current academic or employment status. And if you can identify one career goal, let's breathe in on one. Just one, my friends, okay? So there's a lot of ambitions, so many possibilities, but identify one goal. And if you want to even think about it, like, what's one skill or skill set or experience that I would love to attract into my life? So that might help you inform your career goal. There's no wrong answers. So if I could have somebody please jump in. I'm going to put you all on gallery view so I can see your lovelies. And who is willing to go first?
I'll go first.
Yes, Dennis in the house. Thank you. Go for it.
My name is Dennis Asante. I'm from Worcester. I go to UMass Lowell, class of 2022, majoring in chemistry. And one of my career goals is to be a lab chemist.
Awesome. Thank you, Dennis. It's so great to get an update from you. I wasn't sure where you were in the world, and I'm just so happy you're here. So great job. That's exciting, really exciting. Thank you. Who's next?
I'll go.
Thanks, Julia.
I'm Julia Ward. I am 25, currently working 40 hours a week, full-time job. I work at the Boys and Girls Club in Billerica, Mass. It's actually a place where I grew up working, which is kind of cool, but I have a higher position now. And I'm in Drake right now, residing there. And one of my career goals is to own my own business, whether it's an ice cream shop or a pool. I just haven't decided.
So great. Thank you, Julia.
Thanks.
It's so cool too, as some of you guys were in my entrepreneurship class. So to even if you're working that job, which is not bad, in fact, that steady paycheck really helps, right? We're grateful. And you guys see my and sign? There's always an and. This is not a this or that life. This is a this and that life. So Julia is working her full-time job, which I know we had a chance, Julia, that was a wonderful conversation we had. I think it was last week. Can't keep track, right? But it's so great to hear some of your entrepreneurial ambitions as well, right? It's not this or that. In fact, it may not even be ice cream or pool. There could be ice cream at the pool. You know what I'm saying? So just possibilities abound. Keep generating possibilities, but then we focus in to take that next right action for each of us. So really great. Thanks, Julia. Awesome. Wonderful to have you. Who's next?
I can go next.
See,
you can go.
Yes, please just don't fight amongst yourselves, all right?
Julia, I wanted to say I went to Drake High. I'm not sure when you graduated, but my family.
I just got here in Drake. I just bought a condo in Drake. So I'm very new. Any new recommendations would be great.
Nice.
Definitely. So I am in Worcester right now. I'm in my second year of the master's program at Worcester State, the master's in nonprofit management. I also went to Worcester State for my undergrad as well. I am currently a full-time caseworker, I guess you could call it, at a local preschool called Head Start. It's like government funded. So I'm kind of like the guidance counselor, and I provide certain resources for families. And I also work part-time at Marshall's. And one of my career goals is to be a family and child lawyer.
Wow. Very nice.
Nice, Bianca. And we go back, girl. So good to have you. We do. We go back. It's amazing to have you here. And just so great to see your progression, right? And you're just, you guys, do you ever feel like sometimes things feel a little bit fuzzy in terms of your future, right? But when you can kind of step back and acknowledge yourself for the different clear steps that you have taken and progress you've made. And Bianca, I have seen that over many years now with you, and I'm so proud of you. And it's coming together, girl. It's coming together. And you're not on your own. I love that Drake It connection. So definitely follow up with Julia, see if maybe you can support her with some local 411 info. Okay, awesome. Who's next? I think it was Ellen who was about to talk. Was that okay?
Yeah, I'll go.
Go ahead.
So my name's Ellen Walsh. I'm 26. I currently reside in Worcester, and I graduated from Worcester State with a degree in public health. And my current employment status is unemployed for about 3 months now, but I had been working through the pandemic in sustainable food. And then a career goal, this is really broad, but it's been this broad for a while, so I'll probably narrow it down soon, but I want to enjoy my job, and I want my job to be something that is, sustainable and for the greater good, basically.
Awesome. Ellen, you probably know this. I hope I'm not going off script too much, but a place where I know we both hold dear. In fact, they're one of our organizational clients, has an opening. We'll just say, I don't know if you knew that, but it's very recent. And I know you know them because you interned there. So I'll just leave it at that, but we should follow up because it's very timely.
But I know it's okay. I'm not interested.
Okay.
I work there actually.
Yeah, I know you did. And I figured, because I know they're like in transition as well. So
yeah, but thank you for looking out.
But I figured you knew that. So, okay. So very good. Anyways, it's possible and this and this and that, right? So it's all about generating options for ourselves. Okay. Who is next?
I could go next.
Ronald.
So my name is Ronald Pena. I am calling in from Worcester, and I am currently a fourth year student, a senior at the College of the Holy Cross. I'm going to be graduating this year in May, so that's exciting. And a career goal would definitely be similar to Ellen, just finding something that I genuinely like to do, and also having the confidence to be able to get there, whether it is through just taking chances, taking risks, and understanding what it is that that can get me there. I feel like that's what it is that I'm looking for. That's a goal.
Great. Ronald, what is your degree in that you're going to be graduating with?
It's a degree in liberal arts, but I will be majoring in, or I majored in international studies.
Okay. Great. So amazing to have you here, guys. Ronald was in a youth program that I ran in the WO 2013.
Yeah, it was a long time ago.
Yeah, I'm thinking you were 15 because you came, I think you were back to back. It was 15 and 16, if I'm not mistaken, meaning you were 15 and 16. And I think it was back even before that. So awesome to have you and reconnect, and Dennis as well. Dennis and Ronald, you guys know each other from another lifetime. So very cool. And clearly Worcester is a theme here, but we are not limited to Worcester, but just want to give Worcester, Mass a shout out. I know Leah is on the call with us. I'm not sure, is somebody on with the name Fern that we could?
Fern is driving right now, but
Fern is driving.
just gonna listen in.
Look over just to introduce myself.
Oh yeah.
Oh, wonderful. Please do. Hello, hello.
So I can turn my video on. I don't promise it's the most pleasant thing, but my name is Fernando Ponce. I'm currently in Worcester, Mass, and current job status is just quit my job to pursue my career in freelance filmmaking. So currently I'm working on a documentary in Worcester on this place called The Bridge. It's this cool art community, art movement that's been happening there. So I've kind of decided to put my full time into that and go there, because I think a career goal of mine would be, being in a film festival and receiving an award for a film.
Awesome. Thank you. And so Fernando, oh my gosh, so great to have you here as well. If I'm not mistaken, guys, we go back, I think you win the award, Boys and Girls Club, Worcester, Massachusetts. And then again at Worcester State, I saw him in the back of my room. I was like, stop it. And you were like 9. I'm not even playing. So that's what happened there. I'm just so excited. So Fernando, I saw your video, and so clearly you're not driving right now, but if it's safe to drop the link to the video that you recently produced in the chat, please feel free to do that so other people can get to know you and your work. So if that's something that you want to do, feel free, you guys. And the chat, use it as like a resource, guys. This is a great set of connections. So even if you want, you can sort of take a picture of the different people on the screen. Fernando's last name is Ponce, and you guys connect with each other, support each other, right? Especially because it's a virtual world. So if you guys want to drop anything else that you're working on in the chat, please feel free. We are going to move on for sake of time. So Leah, would it be okay if you hold off on the intro until, okay, that's what I'm thinking. So Leah being a current participant, I think we'll hold off until we get to the VIP portion. And of course, you're all VIPs, but it stands for Visions Internships Program. Okay, so guys, the next thing I want to talk a little bit about, so you all pretty much know me. I'm going to cruise through this sake of time, but I will share a little bit about my personal story so you have a better sense of why the heck I'm even doing any of this right now. You probably have a sense knowing me, but there I am, 5th grade, pink spandex pants. You guys, I'm telling you, that had the tie-dye shirt, the high ponytail. And back in the day, I was about 10 years old when the Exxon Valdez spill happened. And I saw on the TV just this horrific set of scenes around animals, innocent animals that were oil slicked, and like they were being killed by our, we'll just say, lack of really environmental awareness. There was obviously it was an accident, but it really disrupted my little world. And I figured I needed to do something to help this planet. I needed to dedicate my life to helping people or the planet in some way. And so that's where a lot of this for me started. I did pursue an undergraduate degree in environmental studies and Spanish at UVM, University of Vermont. I used to joke that there was like 5 Spanish-speaking people in Vermont in the 90s, but there you have it. Does anybody know who I'm speaking to here? This is 2 days before 9/11 back in 2001. Who is this woman? Does anyone know? Her name is Jane Goodall. Oh, Bianca, I'm sorry, I just saw your hand. So just Google Jane Goodall if you all would. Super inspiring. She is still with us. She's much older now, but she's the woman who basically lived in the wild and studied chimpanzees and other animals and the relationship between people and animals and our environment. So she was one of my just incredible role models and mentors back in the day. And she happened to speak with me 2 days before September 11th, 2001. And she said to me something that always resonated. I wanted to share it with everyone here, which is, Amy, no matter what is happening in the world, no matter what external circumstances, always follow your heart and basically always pursue your passion. Don't abandon your passion. And passion and purpose are 2 very interrelated concepts. Passion being what we really intrinsically love as an individual. And then purpose is tied to that, but even bigger, which is what is that greater good? What is that deep and compelling reason for your life? So to really blend passion and purpose was really seeded very much just 2 days before 9/11 happened. You guys, and you can imagine when September 11th attacks happened, I had her words fresh in my mind, and it really made a difference. And then some of you, so I know some of you guys in Worcester, you might recognize, this was back in the day, we used to do like a lot of Earth Day gatherings, festivals in the different parks. This happened to be in what was called Crystal Park, now University Park. Some of these kiddos, I mean, they're now your age, you guys, but really always very passionate about environmental education and helping and empowering young people. And then I moved on to be, with various roles in community development. I loved very much as a professor of both urban studies and entrepreneurship. I taught at Worcester State and Clark, and this is really how I taught. So I'm taking a lot of my style of teaching and infusing it into this program that is now really under my own startup. And this is how I taught. I'm super interactive. I want you guys to be up at the board, designing the lessons, co-creating your lives, your careers, making it happen, not feeling like you're just being talked at or spoken down to, but you're actually co-creating the solution, you're co-creating your lives. And this, you can probably imagine, this is my little one, my mini me. So she's now going to be 4 in May. And I'll just say now, having a daughter, it's that much more important to me that I'm doing my part to create a world that works. So these are some of the things that motivate me. And I'm sure you guys start to think about, what is it that motivates you? What is it about your story that you want to share in the world? And these stories and your own personal whys, they make a difference because it allows us to connect with other humans. So I just want to take a pause and connect with you guys. Speaking of humans, I'm going to open up my Zoom screen. How's everybody doing? Was that a helpful little context so you have a little better sense of where I'm coming from? So then really big picture. So this, again, a lot of words on this page, but I'll sort of cut to the chase and say, okay, well, what's all the fuss about? Why are we really looking at supporting people between 19 and 29, regardless of their employment or academic status? What's the big picture here? So the idea is, as I'm sure you are familiar, many college students today are graduating without the real world experience, the confidence, connections, really necessary to succeed in today's very interesting dynamic world. While many organizations do want help with their projects, and by the way, they do want to build their talent pipeline. They want to know you and meet you. They often lack the time needed to find, train, and manage interns. And you guys know, I know some of you have had internships in the past, or you've thought about it, or know people who have. They can lead to new doors opening, right? And we live in what we call a try it before you buy it, or a performance-based world. So oftentimes, whether it's an actual internship or a 90-day performance period, employers are going to want to sort of test out how you work together often before they give you that full-time job offer, which is why the internship model is a good one. But think of it as even bigger, like you're wanting to demonstrate your value to the organization so that you can both figure out if it's a good match. A lot of time organizations, especially guys since COVID, you probably have noticed that different opportunities have been canceled. Organizations haven't necessarily set up virtual options. So whether it's internship or work options, if they can't sort of fit it into their model, and we're still navigating what COVID looks like now and beyond, sometimes it feels like there aren't as many opportunities, but usually it's just because we haven't made those connections, because people feel more out of sight, out of mind today. So guys, just drop in the chat if you feel like you can relate to any of this. Do you feel sometimes like you or people are like feeling a little bit out of sight, out of mind, like maybe you don't necessarily know who to connect with to move your career forward? So maybe just a quick note in the chat about how you're experiencing what I'm saying. And then this is an important statistic. Back in 2019, so pretty recently, there was a study that was done that 80% of today's approximate 4 million college graduates each year in the US are seeking purposeful work. So that's 4 out of 5 college graduates every year, at least in the US, and it's a similar trend in the world, are looking for purposeful work, helping people or planet, but measurably less than half are fulfilling on this goal. So it creates what we call a purpose gap. So that's another big reason for why we are doing what we're doing with Visions Internships. And this is out of passion. I'll say this last piece that I strongly believe, and I would love to hear what you guys think. Again, if you want to throw this in the chat, what is your reaction to this idea that our world is so hungry for competent, that means capable, empathetic, so caring, visionary leadership like you? And so my big question is, might the millions, you guys, there are millions of talented and motivated college graduates or young professionals that are actually a deeply untapped resource. So can you imagine the world if we were able to harness your caring and your energy and enthusiasm and your great ideas? Don't you think we have a few worldly problems to address with your genius, right? So guys, why don't you just put in the chat real quick, what would you love to contribute to the world? How would you love to heal this world? How would you like to help people or planet more than you're doing right now? This might be tied to something you're really passionate about. Maybe you have a mission or a cause that matters to you. Maybe you really want to serve a particular audience. You want to make a difference with a certain age group or people that are struggling with a certain problem, challenge. I don't love the word disability, but what's a mission or cause that you feel like you can really make a difference? What can you add or contribute to heal, transform our world? And can I just pause and hear from maybe 2 people real quick? Take yourselves off mute if you're on mute. What do you guys really want to contribute to? What mission or cause? What matters to you?
I can share.
Thanks, Ellen.
I actually developed this interest in my urban studies class, just so you know. But I've always been wanting to work in a field where I'm connecting people to healthy food and connecting farms to people that need healthy food.
So great. So important.
To build like a sustainable, just food system.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ellen.
Of course.
And reminder, you don't need to know how you're going to accomplish this. You just want to get clarity on what moves you. What are you inspired to do? Let's see, I'm just going to go in the chat real quick too. So great. Yeah, you don't have to have it all figured out. Thank you for that, Leah. I'm sure people can relate to that. Like you have something that really moves you. It's a passion and it's tied to this bigger purpose. And you don't need to know what it's all going to look like. And then Ronald saying, I want to change our political culture, bridge the gaps. Any area in particular in terms of a gap that really speaks to you, Ronald?
Definitely immigration and just a lack of empathy. But
thank you for caring. Really, it really matters. Okay, in case you guys didn't get that memo recently. So let's move along here. So let's get into this, guys. So and some of you guys might be a little bit familiar. My 6 keys or this listen model has evolved drastically over the years, but I want to let's jump into these 21st century keys to success. So if you look at this acronym, everyone, it stands for listen. And we will sort of, I'll remind you, it says at the bottom of the screen here that it is a good reminder that when in doubt, listen. When in doubt, when maybe you don't know what to say or how to say it, what to do, how to do it, listen. We have 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason, and new possibilities opening up in our listening. So it's really great. Sometimes we think we have to, be some, perfect communicator, but remember, communication is not just speaking and expressing, it's also listening. So there is a real reason for the acronym to stand collectively for listening. So the first key to 21st century success, so L stands for lead. So what I want to invite everybody here, and perhaps easier said than done, but consider you are the best leader of your own life. You lead your life. You take initiative. You take responsibility. So the ability to respond to anything is really that essence of responsibility. When you can actually source your power in taking responsibility for how you are in the world, so many more doors open up. When we're waiting for circumstances or someone else to fix or change our situation, that's when we can feel disempowered. But even if you're not currently in a leadership role, you can still lead and lead your own life. And one way to do that is to take, I'll say, a safe and educated risk, right? Take a risk, one a day, right? What's one thing that really is outside your comfort zone? Is there somebody that you've been meaning to follow up with, or look into some passion you have, or go somewhere, or do something that is different than what you've been doing? So that's the idea of leading, and when in doubt, leading your life. So let's move down to the I for innovate. And I know this word is a buzzword today. It's used quite a bit, but the idea of innovation, it really stems from developing ideas and actually offering solutions to other people's problems, collaborating. So when you can develop your own ideas, there's value there, right? The root of innovate, noves, for those of you who speak Spanish, so nuevo, or in French, Latin, it's new, right? So it's developing on your new ideas. It's solving other people's problems, which, by the way, if you can figure out a way to always solve other people's problems, and of course your own, you will always be employed and you will always be in demand. And to collaborate, it's a recognition that innovation doesn't happen in a vacuum or just by yourself. Collaboration spawns additional innovation, which is very exciting. So let's move down to the S. And guys, after the S, I'm going to ask you to drop some examples from your own life in the chat. So we'll go to the S for serve, and then we'll pause for a little chat, and then we'll continue with T, E, and N. So S stands for serve. Contribute. With no strings attached, contribute to the greater good. How can you help people? How can you help our planet? How can you help others in a way that you're not expecting something back in return? That creates, in my experience, this sort of energetic karma where good things will come to you because you choose to serve. And I know for everybody on this Zoom call right now, you are wired to serve. So I'm just giving that, perhaps unnecessary, but that validation, that extra encouragement that if you feel moved to serve, do it. And new opportunities, new connections will open up that you may not have ever anticipated. So why don't we take a pause right now in the chat. If you guys can maybe pick L for lead, I innovate, S serve, and come up with like one example in your own life that either you've done that and had a breakthrough, or you're interested in taking action. either in leading, innovating, or serving. So let's hear from everybody in the chat. Pick one and give an example from your life. And if you guys want to take yourself off mute, I'd love to hear from at least one person. Is there a time that you've taken some initiative, you've taken a risk, and there's been some interesting outcome? Have you been developing a certain set of ideas? Have you been looking and listening to solve other people's problems? Do you have any example of contributing to people or our planet that lights you up? So anything, there's no wrong answers here, guys. Please take yourselves off mute and let's hear from at least one person. I think we have a few current participants coming on as well. So, so welcome. I'm seeing Brian jump on. Okay, guys, I think we're going to move to T. This might sound a little bit funny during COVID still, but T for travel. So another key to 21st century success is to really expand your social and cultural horizons. So whether it's you actually getting into a car, a train, a plane, and physically traveling, or you are intentionally expanding your social and environmental horizons. You are meeting new people, you're learning a new language, you're reaching out beyond, again, what's comfortable, right? Maybe some of you guys, actually, I do know some of you do speak another language, and doors open up there, right? But again, people don't necessarily know that you have these capacities, but it can expand your sense of what's possible. So does anybody here speak another language? And has that been at all useful when you're applying to whether internships or jobs, different opportunities, travel? Yeah. And Ronald, that's kind of nicely aligns with some of your career goals as well. All right, guys, so this is really great. This idea of employ. So E for employ. So we happen to be in a society that trains us to work for other people, and that's not wrong or bad. In fact, that's really great oftentimes, especially out of college. It's really great to get that early experience in your field and test out what you're interested in, what you want to do. But one thing I want you to think about when you think of employ, I want you guys to think about actually employing yourself mentally. This is a mental shift. You need to believe that you have value yourself before you can then demonstrate value to others, to prospective employers. Does that make sense? So this idea of hiring yourself is really fascinating. So whether you actually want to be in business for yourself, like I know Julia had given that example earlier, you all have some ideas that actually have value in the marketplace. You could potentially partner up with an existing organization and run some kind of an internal program for them. That's that idea of intrapreneurship, inside entrepreneurship, where you can actually be the innovator inside of somebody else's organization, which would continue you adding value. So whether you're working for someone else or you're working for yourself someday, and it could be some of both, you have options for yourself. And like a lot of people that were let go during COVID, it is worth looking at this idea of job security, right? So even though in today's world, we can put a lot of our eggs in one basket, like getting that one so-called perfect job. And I'm not sure, guys, if there's actually one perfect job for everyone, right? That's something to be discussed. But that you actually have the ability to develop your ideas and add value. So whether you're working for someone else or yourself, there's always options there. Okay. And then we're going to move to N for network. So how many of you guys have heard the word network? Oh, you just got to go ahead and network, right? Do you guys know what I'm talking about? People say that all the time. Oh, have you done any networking? Right? Is that sometimes a frustrating bit of advice? Because the big question is, well, what the heck do I say? Who do I talk to? How do I get in touch with these new people? Especially in an increasingly virtual work world, most of us are relying on people who know people or connecting with them on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a great tool. We do go in more depth in the program with LinkedIn. But this idea of networking, guys, what do you think you can get from networking, reaching out to people, especially expanding that professional network? What value does that have? How do you
If
network?
I can jump in on that.
Yes, please do, Fern.
Can I? Yeah, I just think with networking, I've always found that it's like difficult because it's like first it's nerve-wracking. You're meeting someone, but something that I've learned a lot is just to listen to people, because
Yes.
the information that people are giving out, and like eventually you start engaging. Obviously, you're not just standing there just staring at them listening, but I think as you go, you learn, and you kind of just putting yourself in the uncomfortable situation at first. You can start to add, and I think the biggest value that I've experienced more is just kind of how to experience more like of a genuine human connection with people, because then from that somebody wants to help you.
Totally. That's great. And you guys, one thing I want to say about this, it's reciprocal. It's mutual opportunity, mutual benefit. So oftentimes we think it's almost like networking comes from a scarcity mindset, like, oh my gosh, I have to get in touch with all these people and ask if they know anyone hiring. Do you guys see how that's like a need-based or scarcity-based mindset? So this idea of actually developing rapport, which is trust and human connection, right? And mutual opportunity. Consider that each one of you guys could actually be a resource for someone else, even someone who is older than you and has more experience and more connections. You could actually share something that you're up to, something you're passionate about, something you're working on that could actually help someone else. And then they can get that know, like, and trust factor. People want to be around people that either they like or they are like, and they're going to hire you or refer you to people that if they know, like, and trust you. And so that's the idea of developing rapport and sharing a little bit about who you are as a person, which can then create that sense of mutual opportunity. You're helping them, they're helping you. The worst thing to do, guys, if you're outreaching first and initially making some contact, is just to say, hey, I see that you work at this company. Do you know anyone hiring? If you have absolutely no rapport or human connection with that other person, it can feel like misaligned, right? So there's different aspects of effective networking that we practice a lot more in the program. And again, in case, just as a reminder at the bottom, this idea that the acronym LISTEN intentionally stands for listen, because as Fern said, when we listen, there's so much more that becomes possible. But it's not just listening, it's speaking, expressing, and listening. And it's just amazing what can open up, even in a crazy world like today. So thanks, everybody. I'm seeing some of our current participants jumping on. So I just want to welcome you guys to the show, to the big stage here. And let's see, we have Brian, we have Rachel, we have Leah. So thank you guys for joining us. Why don't you guys just say a quick hello as we move into the next portion. So hello, and maybe a little something about what inspires you, what are you up to, anything you'd like to share. Keep it brief.
I can start.
Thanks,
Okay. Yeah, so hi everyone, I'm Rachel. I'm currently one of the participants with Amy. I'm working with a local green cleaning company, Sustainability Cleaning, with Vanessa, who's the owner. She's literally a rock star. She has been so great and literally asked us to meet today, and she just had a baby 2 days ago. So like, she's amazing. And so those are like the kind of people you're going to get in the program. Just some really dedicated, awesome people. I'm currently a junior at George Washington University in DC. I really just joined the program to start getting career advice and experience. And Amy really has done such a great job of not only that, but just giving us so much more. She literally helped me draft some letters to internships the other day. So yeah, it's really great.
Thanks, Rachel. And congrats on your recent offer for the internship. That's really, really exciting. And this girl, talk about persistence, applied to a lot of places. Thank you. So let's see, Ashley or Brian or Leah.
I can go. I'm Ashley. I'm a current participant. I'm working with the Girls Inc., which is a program in Worcester, Mass. And for them, we're making like an onboarding process because they don't have one for their new staff members. So I've been doing that with my co-lead. So that's been really nice meeting with our the owners and the people who work at the company. They've been so sweet. We like having our weekly meetings. We've been getting to bond, which has been nice. And then I also started working for Sustainability Cleaning. I just do interviews with them. So I did my first one this morning. So I've been interviewing to hire some staff since Vanessa just had her baby. So I've been helping with that. So well, it was cool. Currently, I graduated from Clark University in this past December in 2020, and I had an internship at a company, a marketing agency, and I'm now looking for another full-time job. I have a few interviews next week, so that's been nice. Thanks to Amy for helping me find new jobs and be more confident in like applying to them and having tons of interviews. So that's exciting, and I think that's all. Oh, and I hear back from one of my jobs today, the one in Honduras. So we'll see if, so I think I'll know by the end of the day. Cool. Yeah.
Gracias, Ashley. So great job.
My name's Leah. So I am working with Amy. Visions Internships is actually my client, and my mom's now walking downstairs. I think she just came home. I am on a meeting right now, Mom. Sorry, guys.
No worries.
Literally no interruption this entire time. So yes, Visions Internships is actually my client. So that's been really great because I've gotten to work alongside Amy a lot more than everyone else has. And it's been great because after my masterclass, I got to talk to Amy about what I wanted to learn. And one of the things I really wanted to get better at and like learn was kind of like graphic design, content creation. And I've gotten to really like be on top of the social media and create tons of content for that. And I had no idea how to do any of that beforehand. So that was really cool. And when I came into Visions, I honestly felt completely hopeless about where my career was heading. And I feel so confident, and I feel like I have an idea as to like what I'm doing with my life. So very thankful. Brian, you're up.
So they just run the show at this point. Yeah, seriously.
What's going on, everybody? My name is Brian. I'm originally from New York City. I'm from Brooklyn. I went to Clark University as well. I graduated a few years ago. I actually had Amy as my professor in my, I think it was my senior year. Maybe it was junior year, I forget. But so that's how we connected. And then I was just super pumped to hear about what was going on with Visions and being a part of it. And so pretty much what I'm doing as part of the internship is I'm working with my co-lead, Roberto, and we are working with the Worcester Regional Food Hub. And they are pretty much, their goal is to connect local food from local farms to kind of the greater Worcester community, to give them fresh local food, because it's a kind of a food desert for locally grown food. So we have a lot of grocery stores and stuff for like imported food, but not a lot of locally grown food that's accessible to everyone in the community. So that's their goal. But our job within that goal is to help them with their operations manual. There actually is none. So we're creating an operations manual for them. They're going into a new space. It's going to like triple the size, quadruple the size. And so they're going to get more employees, more members, more space, more things to kind of worry about. So we're creating a manual that helps outline like the do's and don'ts, what to do, what not to do, and just everyday practices. And so far it's about 40 pages. We're also working on some media content creation, doing some like social, a video that could be on social media on their website, and that just kind of answers a lot of the frequently asked questions. It's kind of like a promotional video to see like how do you get involved, what you can do with as a part of the food hub. And so we're doing that. We kind of jumped into it initially and we weren't really, it was kind of like, we need this done. And we were like, well, how are we going to do that? So we had to do a lot of problem solving. We had to go talk to a lot of the members and understand what they did and how they did it and why, and really figure that out. And then we got a clear understanding. And to be honest, I was a bit overwhelmed at the beginning. I was like, how are we going to do this? I have no idea how we're going to get this done. But We got great support from the team, their team and our team. And so far it's been great. We're like 8 weeks in now. So yeah, we're doing awesome with it. And actually I had a really experience. The director offered me a position a few days ago at the Worcester Food Hub. And then, which is awesome, a great opportunity. I'm super thankful for that and appreciative. It didn't necessarily fit in exactly what my goals were. And so I spoke with Amy. I was like, Amy, I need to kind of understand what's going on. And because I want to find work and I want to be proactive, but then also it doesn't really fit into my goal. So we worked together to kind of like change that narrative and make it an open conversation. And so I wrote back to the director saying, hey, I'm looking for more of this kind of role. And because they're growing and they're getting a lot more funding, they're a small company now, but they're expanding. I have that opportunity to kind of be able to potentially grow with them and create like a new space for myself within their company. And I know I caught the last bit of what you were talking about, Amy, the entrepreneurship part of that. So that's kind of what that is. So I got a lot of support from Amy with that. The big theme here is that we get a lot of support. So I thought that's my spiel.
Thank you, Brian. I'm so proud of you. So great. And your communications, professional communications, I've seen really just progress. So great. And you're gonna land the best thing. And good for you for not just, guys, that's the other thing. It's okay to say no and, right? The theme, the ampersand and sign. See what I did there? Okay, awesome. So what I'm gonna do is so was that helpful, you guys, to hear from people that we've been fortunate to work together. I feel so fortunate too, you guys. It's been a pretty dark and crazy time in the world, and it's been so wonderful to have all of you alongside me. So I appreciate you guys so much. I'm going to share the screen again here. Okay, so what I think I want to do is just because we spoke briefly about the program itself, and I know some people have to bounce off, what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump to this screen. I'm going to take a little shorter amount of time than I had planned, which is fine. There's a lot of words here, guys. If you are interested, you know where to find me. You will get a follow-up email. But let me just go over this briefly, and we'll take advantage of the fact that we do have 4 current participants who I know some of you guys have to bounce. So we'll do that now. And if there are some questions that we can take right now, otherwise we'll certainly follow up with more questions. But basically, so this is the Visions Internships program, or VIP. If you've ever wanted to officially be called VIP, very important person, you can participate in the Visions Internships program. VIP, summer 2021. So applications are actually open as of today, which is sort of like one way that the two are linked. Although this is a separate program, they are linked because applications are now open today. And it's just a Google form that would be on the page that I can drop in the chat. So basically, guys, it's a 2-part program. Part 1 is 4 weeks of pre-internship training. I won't read all of it, but you have some details there on the screen where it's 6 hours per week during those timeframes, and we learn all kinds of stuff to really prepare you, work and life readiness, okay? Part 2 is a 10-week internship. So it's a project-based internship serving an actual client, plus coaching and development. So you're getting basically it's 12 hours per week for part 2, where 10 of those 12 are these flexible hours where you're directly serving your client, and the other 2 hours you're getting that additional support. There are 3 Friday conferences that during part 2 will give you guys really in-depth. We go into financial literacy, we do personal branding and marketing, we look at the career development side with resumes, cover letters, LinkedIn, interviewing, prep, job share, all the whole stuff, all of it. Okay. And then again, we are intentionally pursuing purposeful work. So we do address that purpose gap that I had mentioned earlier in the presentation by targeting exclusively socially and environmentally conscious organizations like some of the ones that they just gave. And part of why I do this class sort of a few weeks before is if any of you guys here are interested in being part of the VIP, I'm following up with people sort of more specific to what you guys are wanting, right? Because the people on the masterclass get first dibs to apply to VIP, and it gives me a better sense of what sort of, purpose, mission you guys are looking to do. Also, what are the skills and experiences you're looking to actually have for yourselves? And then I'll click on this just very quickly. So basically, all of our organizations need to be pursuing or legitimately aiming to pursue at least one of the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. And I'll pull that up real quick, guys. This is just a nice visual representation of the 17 UN Sustainable Development Goals, or SDGs. These came out in 2015. They stretch through 2030, and it's a way for different people who care about people or planet around the world to organize themselves and their work. And so these involve, you know, big topics, right? Like no poverty, hunger issues, health and well-being, talks about quality education, gender equality, clean water and sanitation, affordable and clean energy, decent work, economic growth, infrastructure, reduced inequality, sustainable cities, responsible consumption, climate action, life below water, life on land, peace, justice, strong institutions, and then partnerships for the goals. So all of the organizations that we work with are pursuing some type of socially or environmentally conscious work in the world. So let me just come back to you guys. How you doing? That was a lot. That was a mouthful. And I can tell you guys that one of my mentors early on when I was developing this startup said, Amy, you're being way too picky. You really shouldn't be so narrowly focused on socially and environmentally conscious organizations. And I was like, thank you. And I'm doing it anyways. Like, that's who I am in the world. I know that's what so many people, with all due respect, people in their, and trust me guys, I'm 42 now, so I should be careful what I say, but people in their 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, like they really don't quite grasp how important purpose-driven work is for young people. And I got that because I myself can deeply relate to that. I had my own experience, right, where I felt I had to choose when I was a 20-something. I felt like I had to choose between doing well for myself financially and doing good work in the world. And that's why I'm so fascinated, especially having worked, you know, I was a professor for 5 years, I've done a ton of community-based work, and so many of my young people were feeling the same way 20 years later. So I've been very intentional around that. Perhaps it's a little risky, but that's really where I stand. And that's the kind of young professionals that I'm attracting to our program. So let me just pause. I know that was like a big mouthful, but do you guys have any thoughts or burning questions that we can address now about the program, about anything I've said so far? Especially, we do have a few people from the current program on. If you guys want to ask them any questions, we're only going to take about 5 minutes though, because I do want to move into a little bit more around purpose-driven careers, as well as the career hot seat coaching piece. So we'll just take 4 or 5 minutes to do that. So let's take ourselves off mute. Do you guys have any questions at all about VIP? And I will share this again because it was just say a lot to process as I was speaking. So basic things, guys. It starts May is the part 1 pre-internship training, and then part 2 is June into early August, just for a time frame. And you can see the days and times that we meet.
If you have a question, you can just ask. Like you don't have to raise your hand. Go right
yeah,
ahead.
totally, absolutely. And I'm gonna throw a link in the chat, guys. So
yeah, so okay. You had mentioned that the internships don't necessarily have to be, or like the work that you're doing doesn't have to be in Worcester.
Correct.
So there's just no limit into that? Because let's say like me graduating, if I do want to leave like the Massachusetts area, but I'm still interested in a program like this, it can still work out?
Yeah, for sure, because everything is virtual, guys. I'll say that the one client that we've been working with this season, spring, that requested some in-person, Ronald, was Brian's example of the Worcester Food Hub, where they wanted them to come and tour the new space and get a little bit more on-site video stuff. But Ronald, yeah, the way we're designed, in fact, our name came from Virtual Internship Solutions. That's where I came up with VIS for Visions. So these are all virtual internships, project-based, that you're not going into a physical office unless it's like an unusual request.
Yeah, to go off of that, my partner, who's also working like the girl that she couldn't be here, her name's Madison, who's working with me on Visions Internships. She's actually living in New York. So yeah, like ideally you can be anywhere and be doing this work.
Just need access to the internet. Great question. You guys, I don't know if you saw, but I did drop something in the chat, and I'll just in full disclosure, because I feel like I know you guys so well, and I feel so blessed. You've all been in my programs or classes, which is so wonderful. So I'm just going to make a little joke. I know this is being recorded, so other people may see it, but the bottom line is, I didn't previous to this week really know how to actually design a website myself, but you learn, and that's the kind of thing. So I dropped in the chat my best attempt at the Young Professionals page that outlines all of the questions that you probably have. And I'm going to see if you guys can see this here. So can you guys see that okay on my screen? So that's the link that I just put in the chat that gives you a lot more information about VIP. And it should answer a lot of questions. You should probably resonate with some of these things. Have you ever said to yourself these various things, right? And how we help you, we go into more detail. This goes into much more detail about the actual program, what's happening when. And then these are a sampling of skills that our current VIP participants have learned. So soft skills, so more interpersonal, harder technical skills, as well as software and tech tools serving our clients. These are some frequently asked questions that should give you some better insight. These are our testimonials. I need to actually give this a header, but these are testimonials from real people, young professionals that have gotten value from the programs. So that's what that is, who it's for, who it's not for. There's me. We may have met. This is to connect with me on LinkedIn, guys. If we're not already connected on LinkedIn, please connect with me, whether or not you do the program. Would love to be connected with you professionally. And then this is the application here. Guys, when you click on this on your phone, if you have more than one Google account on your phone, which I find most people do, it's going to ask you to sign into Google on your phone before you can actually get to the application. It's just a Google form, but just know that if you do it on your phone and if you have multiple Googles, just sign in and then it should bring you right to the form. There's no application fee or anything, guys. I did waive that. And we just try to keep it simple. It starts a conversation with me, basically. So it's a pretty simple application process. And then I request if you are interested that you guys throw your hat in the ring. So by midnight, this would be Friday, April 23rd. That's 2 weeks from today. And then if anybody does want to apply and get an extra customized bonus coaching session with me, if you can apply for the early bird, which is a week from today on the 16th. So that's about all I would like to say about that, unless anybody else has burning questions. I'd like to be able to move on. But any other thoughts or questions, guys?
I was just gonna add one thing quickly.
Yeah, Rachel.
So I kind of came in late to the program. I think it had been going on for like a week because I was in the middle of school and everything, but I still got a chance to do like the one-on-one coaching with Amy. And what was great about that is, I told Amy, like, this is what I'm thinking of a career path and these are the skills I want to learn. And Amy was like, okay, we're going to figure out something. And so in my internship, like specifically, I'm looking to go into like nonprofit work, and a lot of that involves grant work. And so I told Amy that during the program, during our like one-on-one meeting. And she then was like, okay, let's see if Vanessa is willing to do any grant work. And I was able to get grant experience and help Vanessa write and apply to a few grants. So the one-on-one coaching is definitely something that's super unique and super special. And it's really a great point.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks, Rachel. I'm
Definitely.
glad that made a difference. And it helped Vanessa too, our client. So that was wonderful. You guys, sometimes they don't know what they need until you say what you want to learn. Then they're like, oh, we could use that. That's the entrepreneurship. That's that inside entrepreneurial approach. Some of my favorite jobs have been created from nothing. Leah, please. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, it's just like you'll ask kind of like what it is we're interested in doing. And then we think you like help us think about like what the skills that we'll need are on our resume to get that job. And then like now I have an incredible amount of like hard and soft skills on my resume that weren't there before the program. Like it's insane.
Give me a minute. Okay, thank you. I did not pay them to say that, okay? So you guys get the idea that that's what I mean by co-creating a world that works, right? Sometimes it's like you think you're gonna, take a class or do a program and voila. It's like, no, it's a we create it together, okay? All right, guys, so I just want to point out a few things here, and I do want to have time for at least one person on the hot seat. And guys, if you can stay a little bit later, I can stay a little bit later. I just want to respect everyone's time because we did say 1:30. Okay, so let's just back up for a moment, everybody. And this is if you have something to write with. This would be a good opportunity to just take out, I know Brian's laughing at me because he does everything electronically. I'm always like, take out your journal, guys. And he's like, oh my God, please, I don't even use a journal. So you don't need to use a journal. But the point is, guys, let's take a look at what is your purpose. You, the person sitting in your seat. We already distinguished briefly between purpose and passion. And again, just a reminder, passion is more of that individual, intrinsic, what you love to do, right? What really lights you up. Purpose is that, plus how that relates to the greater good, how you can actually wake up every day and feel like you're really contributing to the greater good, helping people, planet, right? That's tied to your passion as well. So just jot down in your journal, if you want to throw it in the chat, that's great. What do you guys feel is your purpose? What is that deeper meaning of your life? This is a big question. If you're still thinking, still think, there's no wrong answer, but what would you say is really your purpose? Why are you here? What are you out to accomplish before it's all said and done? And I know when I was in my 20s, I thought I was immortal. I would be here forever. But just think, we were all born on a certain year. There's a dash called our life. And then we're going to be gone at some point. What do you want the dash to say? What contribution do you want to make? What is your bigger purpose? So I'm just looking in the chat if anybody wants to throw it out. Oh, thanks, Brian, for putting your email there in the chat. That's great. What is your purpose? And guys, I'll give a quick example. Mine is really, it's sort of twofold. Really, it's about empowering young leaders to be their best selves, to live their best lives while contributing to a more sustainable world. So I have been working on this for many years. It may not be that articulate for you. There's no real comparisons. It's just like, what lights you up? Teaching swimming. Awesome, Julia, right? Like, that's fantastic. And other people may be like, I don't even know how to swim, or why is that? It doesn't matter. What is your purpose? What do you feel you're here for? Giving yourself an opportunity to even ask yourself that is a breakthrough. So now this is a related question. How does your purpose, what you feel you're here for, relate to your current or future studies or work? Can you make a tie-in? I want you guys to distinguish what you feel you're here for in your life before you tie it to your studies or your work. Can somebody maybe give one example of how you believe your purpose may be tied to your current or future studies or work? Give an example of a connection. Yeah, great, Brian. Community development. And that's great, keeping it broad so you have options. Great. Thank you, Ronald. I totally got the message. Have a good class. We'll talk soon. You know, guys, and I'll tell you, like, when I got laid off from my big marketing job after I left teaching, I was like, gosh, what is it that I really love? And what is that reason for being? And I was able to come up with something that I had been kind of working on the side and really go back and working directly with young people, because that was really missing from me in the marketing job I had gotten. So that's an example of how it ties to studies or work. Can you guys see how you can design this? You can really design. We talk a lot about in VIP, creating a life by design, not default. And it just takes a little intention and space to think and plan. Okay, so let's talk about, how do you guys measure your own success? Has anybody been feeling lately like, what is wrong with me? Why can't I just get my life on track? I can't get ahead. I must be the only one, right? So when you're saying these sorts of questions, and you are not alone, everybody, just please know that you're not alone. Can you see that you've probably lost sight of how you actually measure your own success? So come up with one metric that you could use to measure your own success, even today or this week. What's one way that if you hit that metric, you could say, boom, I've achieved that. I'm feeling successful. And these are stepping stones. What's one way you could measure your success? Like, what's something that's a goal for you? Maybe you don't know how you're going to achieve it, but you can make it up. What's one way you could give yourself a pat on the back and say, boom, I did that?
Just checking off a to-do list.
Okay. You know, even sometimes like, you know, just getting clear about what is on the to-do list, right? What is the to-do list even labeled? Sometimes we find ourselves doing busy work, trying to, you know, because we're beating ourselves up and we just want to feel like we can accomplish something. So we make a to-do list and another to-do list. And by the way, my brother makes lists. He makes to-do lists of to-do lists, which is hysterical. But, you know, even taking a moment to pause, like, what is most important that I even want to plan around? Like, even that is a success, guys. That's a solid metric. And if you add a by when, Julia, that could even help. Like, by Sunday night at 9, I will have looked to see that I have, you know, the top 3 most important to-do lists sketched out by that time because it matters to you. And then you start to transfer what's on your to-do list into your calendar. And guys, another way, something that we practice a lot in the program is this idea of accountability and also buddies, people supporting you, right? Like if you tell somebody else your goal and what you're out to accomplish by when, it's more likely you'll get it done. Okay. So that's really great. Thank you. We're going to move forward. So the next idea here is, what are some examples that you guys have around doing well for yourself? Let's just start there. So for many people, it's like making a certain amount of money, right? Maybe it's something regarding your own health, your career. So what's some example of doing well for yourself? And then what's an example of doing good work in the world? And can you start to see some overlap? So can somebody just give me a quick example of what's an example of actually doing well for yourself? What does that mean to you?
I know that for me, I've always measured doing well for myself as being able to take care of myself and have fun and actually live my life. And so I see that connecting in my life right now because I've always wanted to, my purpose has always been helping children and adolescents, especially underrepresented and, you know, Black and brown kids. And so my work right now, I'm working a lot in those specific kind of, like working in Worcester, I'm working with that population, but I think doing well with myself, for myself, I mean, would be making more, like having that reflect in my income more so that I can actually take care of myself and not be living paycheck to paycheck in the future. And, you know, actually say that I, not only am I helping to take care of these kids, but also like myself.
Absolutely. That's awesome. Thank you so much, Bianca. That's super inspiring. And I'm sure so many people can relate to that, you guys. And again, given that sometimes there are constraints with some of the jobs, the positions that we have, it's about a mindset of acknowledging and being appreciative for what we have, but then not feeling stopped or stuck, but creating right? And there is some multitasking and collaboration that goes into that, but those are the kinds of things that we explore a lot more. So thank you, Bianca. It's great to hear from you. And you guys, I just want you to sort of look at, it's okay to actually pause and say, what do I actually want for myself in my life? Right? It really is okay. I am giving you, not that you need any permission to do so, but I am giving you the permission to really take that step towards something that's good for you. Because when you are feeling well and you're feeling good about yourself and you've got enough money to breathe, you can really show up differently and be the contribution that you want to be in the world. And they're not mutually exclusive. Okay. So great. So some of you may have heard of the triple bottom line. That is not my own unique concept that came out in the 90s, but the idea where where organizations, individuals can start to look at how do they draw the bottom line. Typically, we look at the profit, the financial bottom line, whether we're looking at a business, organization, policy, program. But this idea of triple bottom line, it includes people and planet as well as profit. So we draw the bottom line considering people, planet, and profit. With Visions Internships, we also add this, bear with me, quadruple, this extra fourth P, which is purpose. So a big part of this program is really serving organizations that need your help, that do care about people and planet, but also you are pursuing your purpose and feeling like you can put those puzzle pieces together and work alongside of other people that have similar interests. So that's, I don't know, I just think that's really exciting. I know that's a mouthful with all the P's, but I do believe, and I've gotten feedback from some of our young professionals, that that does distinguish a lot of what we're doing because of that blatant focus on purpose. And you guys, just thinking back to your own, if you did, go through college or you're in college now, how often did this idea of purposeful work come up in the classroom, outside of the classroom, as part of your major or your degree? So you can just drop that in the chat, and I'll move forward here. So did that come up much at all? And maybe even in conversations with peers, maybe when you guys were grabbing dinner, did you guys talk about it? Was it more so outside of the classroom? This idea of purpose.
Oh, what? I don't think it's talked about enough.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's something that is on the minds of like just catching up at lunch, if that makes sense,
Mm-hmm.
which it should be, definitely.
Yeah, no, thanks, Julia. And I think understandably, young people are really completely understandably caught up and focused on maintaining their GPA, right? And finishing the courses that are going to get you to graduate on time and all of that. And those are important things. And, to, even if you guys, again, if you're still in school now, or if you have advisors or people that you're talking to, that it really is okay to really ask the bigger questions, right? And especially in school, you guys are the paying client as a student in college. And so you do have every right in the world to actually design the kind of degree that's going to set you on the path that you want to live. Okay.
And I do just want to bring your attention to the chat. There's some activity in there.
Thank you. Let me jump in the chat. Awesome. Thanks, Leah.
Yep.
Not in the classrooms. Oh, that's awesome, Ellen. So purpose comes up in my daily conversations in life because of probably the people that you choose to surround yourself with, my dear, right? Brian saying not often, with the exception of this course. Rachel saying, before I switched my major to human services and social justice, it wasn't talked about, but now with my major, we talk about it more in every class. So that's great. Fernando, you're so awesome. Speaking the facts. Well, it's great to be around, people that also care, and we all have different things that we care about. And it's like, we all learn from, like, if somebody else cares about something that I may not have thought of, I want to hear about it, right? Again, it's people, planet, and profit. We don't want to just drop the profit either. We don't want to be victims or martyrs. We need to also do well for ourselves. And I really used to think it was one or the other. So I think we're dispelling that myth a little bit, you guys. What I want to do is just in the last few minutes here, I want to make sure that that before we wrap up here in a few minutes, guys, and if it's okay, can we go 5 minutes over just to make sure that we get at least a hot seat coaching in here? Everybody, I'm just taking a look. Is that okay? Can you just drop in the chat? Can we go until 1:35 rather than 1:30? Just see how many people can stay an extra 5 minutes. Okay. All right, great. So if you still have that journal, or you're just thinking, or you're typing it into your phone or whatever, let's capture, guys. Make sure that you have at least one career goal that you're really excited about. What is something that you, no matter what other people are saying, you want to push forward toward this particular career goal. So get that clarity before we get off this phone call. What is something that's important to you that will move your career forward, whether it's a specific skill you want to develop, an experience you want to have? What is that one goal? Regarding that one goal, where would you say you are right now? Even think of like a scale of 1 to 5. 1 is underdeveloped or sort of status quo, right? You know, where 5 is really the pinnacle of where you want to be. So where are you with that particular career goal, 1 through 5? And the where do you want to be? I would just say, guys, give a date. Just play with it. You can always change your mind. You can scrap what you write, but just put a date. By when would you love to accomplish that career goal? So get a little clarity on by when. Is it a week, a month, a year? And then what might be in your way? Now, my friends, this is real or perceived. There is something arguably that is in your way, in actuality or perception. What's in the way of achieving that goal? Can somebody give one example of what might be in your way where you feel stuck? You feel like something is in your way. Maybe you don't even know what it is. Okay.
I just don't know what step to take next.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I feel stuck.
Thank you, Julie.
And I also, I don't want to cut somebody off.
I think you're good. Go ahead,
Okay.
Ellen.
I feel like Corona has kind of thrown a wrench in the machine. Yeah, I don't really know. I don't know. That kind of like really threw me off. And I also feel pretty stuck right now, especially being unemployed. I just like don't know what to do next. But it is also a good thing because I have a lot of potential and I'm free at the point. So I'm kind of on the fence of where I feel about it being lost.
Okay.
It's good and bad.
So Ellen, feel free to say no, but would you be willing to get yourself on the hot seat?
I knew it was coming. I will do it.
Totally optional. So here's, okay, wonderful. And because due to time, you're a little bit off the hook, right? Because we'll see how far we can get. I would love to ideally have 2 people have this experience, which is why I requested we can extend it a few. But let's see how far we get. And I want you to think about these 3 things. So it's the 3 B's, Ellen. Are we ready? So it's a B for very brief bio. So just briefly tell us about yourself. So again, really it's about yourself. You already did briefly, and your goal. So if you can tell us a little bit more clarity about so again, your name and then your specific career goal, that's the bio. The breakdown is where do you currently feel stuck exactly? And the breakthrough is we're going to create that together, of course, and we'll create a new possibility in just a few minutes. Okay. So let's give it a go. So brief bio.
So really briefly, I already introduced myself. My name's Ellen. I love to roller skate. That's like a random little thing about myself.
Love that.
Yeah, it's so fun. But professionally, I've done a lot of sustainable work and social justice and food equity sort of things. I graduated with a degree in public health, and I'm super indecisive as a person, which is going to reflect in my professional career, definitely. So I'm going to stick with what I said earlier. I feel really stuck right now being unemployed with the virus. It just has been really challenging and really threw me off. And I wrote down...
the breakdown is really key. So you mentioned indecision, and then there's external circumstances, right? So there's indecision. Can you guys all, this is for everybody. Can you guys see that indecision is an internal dynamic, whereas the COVID is an external phenomenon? Can you guys see that difference? So that's important when we're talking about breakdown. You want to figure out what's internal versus external. We can do more about the internal. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So Ellen, if you can just, is that really where you feel you want to state the breakdown is really in the indecision, or is there something else going on for you?
So internally, it's definitely an indecision, but I did write down I want to do more networking and professional development because I feel like I've really only interned and then I developed one job from that, but other professionally, like I haven't really done much other than interning and getting a job. So I need to do more of that.
Okay, so networking, so just briefly on that, where do you feel stuck around networking? When you think of doing that, where do you say, oh, I don't know what to do?
I don't really know where to reach out at this point and network, especially with the virus. It's like there's not really much going on, and I'm more of a social person. I know I should like be emailing and things, but I feel like it's easier to like go into places and introduce myself and get out there like in that sense.
Okay. Okay, we ready to have a breakthrough, Ellen?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. I love this the most. Okay, so let's just say that we'll put indecision on the back burner because it may be a symptom of something else where it feels like if you had more like activity and had a better sense of who to reach out to, that you'd probably be doing that and feel less indecisive. Yeah. So just as a place to start. So guys, I know, especially for people in your age group, and not to stereotype in any way, but a lot of times people in the 20 somethings are less apt to actually pick up the phone, right? So one thing I'm going to say, Ellen, is I think you should set some amount, like a goal to reach out to X number of people, probably on LinkedIn to start, and request a phone chat. Okay. And it could be a phone or a Zoom. Most people are very comfortable with Zoom these days, but I would reach out to certain people who know you, who know other people, right? So first and second level connections, your warm market. I would come up with, like, let's just say as a place to start, I'm making this up. You can change any of these numbers or scrap it entirely, totally up to you. But if you were to say by a week from today, so next Friday, right, the 16th of April, you have reached out to, let's say, 10 professional contacts in your first and second level connections on LinkedIn, and you've requested catch-up conversations. You see that? Catch-up conversations. It's very casual. It's non-threatening. And then you schedule, say, 30-minute conversations with 5 of those people in the next 2 weeks.
5?
Yeah.
Oh, 2 weeks.
So,
2 weeks.
So you reach out to 10. You reach out to 10 by next Friday the 16th. You schedule.
I thought it was going to be 5 people in 1 week. I was like, Amy, come on.
It's possible, but give it another week. So within a 2-week, schedule 5 conversations, call them catch-up conversations.
Yeah.
Or if it's somebody that can introduce you to somebody else, it might be more of an intro conversation, right? And out of those conversations, you guys, I promise you're going to generate possibility from conversations. You're going to do a lot of listening to what they're working on, what's important to them, what projects are happening, what are their needs or struggles, right? Who do they know? Who do you know who can help them, right? It's that mutual opportunity. It's not just picking their brain on who's hiring. It's literally a back and forth conversation where they feel fulfilled out of your 30 minutes. And then they start to actually, again, they now know you, like you, trust you even more. And they're going to probably think who they know in their network that could be a good fit, or vice versa, right? So that's like a really specific set of actions you could take. And I'm just saying, Ellen, I know we've been out of touch for a few years, but you're more than capable of that. And people would love to hear from you.
Thank you.
They would absolutely love to hear from you. I can promise you that. And if they can't book it, then ask them when's a good time. The secret to success, my friends, and this is for everybody. You guys know where I'm going with this? Leah, what am I about to say? The secret to success is what now?
The secret to success is FU, follow up.
Secret to success is FU. It's follow up. And you guys, I always would joke. I'm like, I can never say that at the beginning of a semester. I'd probably get the hook, right? From the administration, if not the students. But yeah, definitely following up, Ellen, and remembering that you too are a resource. Okay. So as we're kind of like solidifying your breakthrough here. So think about how you can think a little differently, right? So you might be thinking like, maybe you feel like, oh, like you're stuck, you're disempowered. What's a way of being that you could actually create for yourself that would move you in a different direction, get you on a new trajectory? What's a different way of thinking? Let's come up with it rather than feel disempowered or stuck.
Well, it is pretty much piggybacking off of what you just said, but
what is it?
I am a valuable resource.
Yes.
Like I should bring that to the conversation.
Yes. Okay, you guys, and this is for everybody. Write it out. I am a valuable resource. People would love to hear from me. Write that out, Ellen. I am a valuable resource. People will love to hear from me. And if you wake up and say that to yourself the next few days and get into action, you guys know that you replace the disempowering thought. You replace, I'm overwhelmed, I'm stuck, with I am a valuable resource and people would love to hear from me. And then somebody who thinks that way is bound to get into action. Make sense?
Yeah.
If you think I'm stuck, what's somebody who's stuck going to do in the action realm? You're going to fulfill on being stuck. You're going to win the game of being stuck.
Yeah.
If you're going to play a new game mentally called I'm a wonderful resource, people would love to hear from me. Got it. I'm unstoppable. I'm amazing. What is somebody, if somebody is unstoppable, Ellen, what is someone who's unstoppable going to do? You're going to take action toward your goal.
Someone's honking.
It's someone honking. It's always something.
Yeah.
It is always something. How do you feel right now?
I feel good. That was like, I don't know. I definitely needed this. I'm glad I participated.
Me too. I'm so glad you participated.
Yeah.
You're doing big things, girl. You're just on a little pause. You're in transition.
It was a
sorting
nice
yourself
break,
out.
but we're back. Yeah.
We're back. Right. So great. All right, guys, I'm looking at the time. It's 1:37 on my watch. So I feel like, even though I'd love to do hot seat coaching for the next how long, let me just check in because I think there are 6 of you guys remaining. Is that right? Yes. Okay. Well, one thing I can say is I don't want to shut anyone down. I would love to do one more, but we're definitely over. So if one more person wants to jump on the hot seat, I would love to support you guys. I don't want to, like, you know, Julia, for example, I don't know.
I think I'm the only one left that's not in the program now.
Yeah, do you want to go for it?
Do you
It's
want to
up
go
to
for
you.
it?
I will absolutely take that.
Okay, great. Thank you. And I don't know what you're juggling with work schedules, but
I'm okay.
You're good for a few minutes. Okay.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Well, we would love to have you. So thanks for playing.
Yeah.
Okay. So same thing. We're going to hear briefly from you. Just again, a brief bio, right?
Yep.
Give us some context. Tell us really about the breakdown.
Okay. I'm Julia Ward. I currently reside in Drake, Mass. I work a full-time job as the aquatics operations coordinator for the Boys and Girls Club in Billerica. I started there as a 15-year-old and I'm now employing 15-year-olds, which is kind of cool. So I get to see the back end of it. I would love to own my own business. And that's pretty much where I'm at in the sense I've been saying that for years. I want to own my own business. I want to do, my goal is to pretty much just a place where families can come and like make memories would suffice my happiness and my dreams, and a way to be sustainable in that sense would be a great opportunity. And I'd love helping kids of all ages. Like my job right now just makes me happy and smile, and that's where I want to go, but I want to do it on my own, and not have like, I want to make my own decisions and, you know, go for that kind of thing. I think I would be a great boss.
I totally agree with that.
Thanks.
That's awesome. Thank you, Julia. And what would you say is your greatest breakdown where you feel most stuck?
Right now I feel most stuck. I don't know where to go next. I currently just bought a condo in Drake, so I have that as a financial kind of thing that I'm working on as well. So I feel stuck in the sense of I don't have like the funds to kind of just, I also, aside from pools, I also would love to own an ice cream shop. And like, I have like the littlest minute things where I have my flavors like already thought of, but I don't like have a business plan or something in that sense. So I know I kind of just get excited about the little things of like the ice cream flavors or like how my place is going to look, but like I don't even have the place yet. And I was doing that, even I was seeing that when I was trying to buy a condo, like I saw that as, okay, I'm, you know, I could do this, that, and the other thing in this room, but like, I don't even own this place yet. So I need to kind of step back, see the bigger picture, and kind of make a to-do list or a goal list of what to do next.
Right.
I do have something small that is kind of where I did start and kind of just completely flopped on. I really want to talk to, I have a huge list of people who own their own businesses, people who have like everyone that all of my family friends and parents friends, they all own their own businesses. And I have a list of questions that I would love to talk to them and sit down and talk with them. I never got around to doing that. I talked with my dad because my dad's a home, he owns his own business. I did that with him and I did like the questions, but I would just, I don't know if I feel confident not like going towards, even though they're my friends and family, going towards and kind of just like working through those things. I don't want to bother anybody either. And I don't know, that's like kind of where I want to start going. Like I want to get I have probably a list. It's like a Google form, like you said. And it's just a list of questions, but I'd rather like face-to-face talk with people or Zoom talk to people and actually get their like background stories or kind of go off track in that sense. With those questions, I would just have to like go forward and do that.
Yes. Awesome.
And
well, Julia,
that's like,
sorry, go ahead. I'm gonna cut you off. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Well, I think, so you're fabulous, by the way. You are amazing. So let's like hone it down in terms of like, if you were to take 1 or 2 words to state your breakdown.
Okay.
Where you feel stuck. 1 or 2 words.
Like not making this a fantasy and making it reality.
Like implementation.
Yeah, like making it like a thing that I can work towards.
Yeah.
And like, cause right now, like my calendar's empty. Like I work 40 hours a week, but like I come home and I just don't do much. And I would love to be more ambitious to do those things.
You know what? I think for you, it's so tell me if this is off, but it feels like there's like an internal like believing in yourself. And then there's a more logistical making space to schedule and outreach.
Yes. Yeah. I definitely think juggling time, work, and I mean, now I'm just starting to get comfortable in the house here, but and
just congratulations on becoming a homeowner, Julia. That's a huge accomplishment in your 20s.
And that was a huge thing for me too. I was very happy with that. And now I'm here and it's great. I'm by myself and I do enjoy that, but I also find myself doing things that I probably, if there was someone else in the house,
I totally get it.
Move me towards the right direction.
And then so I'll just say on something in what you just shared is like something around accountability or follow through, something in that arena. So, okay, so ready for a breakthrough?
Yeah.
Okay. So my invitation to you, and again, take it, tweak it, scrap it, is, that's actually pretty funny. Leah should capture that. Take it, tweak it, scratch it. I would invite you to organize a casual virtual focus group, Julia.
Okay.
Where you are getting even 5 or 6 people. I would probably reach out to 7 or 8 and lock in at least 5 to hold your focus group on Zoom, right? And you literally can make it really fun. You might even send people, I've heard people do something like where you can even send something in the mail, like a thing of popcorn or something for people to participate when they come together, or you can encourage people to all order pizza together or something, where it's like a fun social thing, especially because your parents' friends, and they all, they've locked it in. Maybe it's I don't know, are they restaurant owners for the most part, or are they?
It's all walks of life. I have, business owners where there's a travel agency and an insurance company, or like. So
I might offer 2, because people that are restaurant owners are usually available less during the evenings and off hours, whereas people that have more professional businesses may be more available after 7 p.m. or something like that, right? So I'm making all this up, but you get it. So I might come up with definitely 1, if not 2 times to do a virtual focus group, invite the people that you have in mind, just share with them briefly. And it could be a phone call. It could be a quick email. Don't make it too complicated, and just say, I've been meaning to, sort of reach out to you. I'd love to hear your experience about being a business owner. I'd love your thoughts on my business concept. Can you carve out an hour for me with this small group of people this day or that day? And can you please get back to me by a certain time? So even right now, like you might even say, like, it's now April 9th. So would you say by, I don't know, what would you say, like June 1st?
Yeah, I would. Yeah, probably. I definitely want to get it off the ground, especially since I already have like the questions and content to be able
and I know you do. Of course you do. Hello. And you can always change them up. But I would say something like, say by June 1st, Memorial Day, somewhere in there where you have 1 or 2 focus groups and you have your questions, and then you basically can start to just begin to map out the very beginning of a business plan.
Okay. Yeah. Cause that's where I don't think I have enough content for a business plan, but that's where my next goal would be.
And I'll just say this in closing for your breakthrough round is really get clear. And you actually did a great job earlier on today. I actually jotted it down. You said something about a place where families can come and make memories or
that's it.
Okay. So that is super powerful. And I would just, so that's kind of feels like a little bit of a mission statement for you. And it's something that you probably want to develop a little bit when you're outreaching. So people feel inspired by what you're creating.
Okay.
And then, that could literally be your mission statement. Totally. And so what I would say there is get more focused on who you are serving. In other words, Julia, who is your ideal target customer?
Okay.
Versus what is going to be exactly in your business plan.
Okay.
It's not so much about what are the categories or sections of the business plan and how many pages and which can make you shut down. It's like, who am I serving? Who is that ideal target customer? And you might even want to do something, you can just Google this online. It's really pretty known that people do like a customer avatar or an ideal customer avatar where you start to say, who are these families? Where do they live? How much do they make? How many people in the family? What are they struggling with? What are their pain points? How can I help them? How can I solve? That's the conversation that I think once you start to flesh out your ideal target customer, and you can even bring that to the focus group and get some feedback. You're going to be a lot more inspired to actually do the plan.
Right.
Make sense?
Yeah.
Does that help? I don't know if I sometimes, as
yes,
you know,
absolutely.
I can go off the rails with my passion, but
no, that's absolutely good. And I definitely because I was going to sit down one-on-one, and I definitely think the focus group is kind of more of like a mishmash of all of it. So
awesome. And people can throw stuff in the chat, and girl, you can record the chat.
Yeah.
And you have everybody's information that they're participating in this virtual focus group. It's a live session. It's casual. People are just organically expressing, and then you can capture it and actually get that in the recording as your content that will inform your business, because it's like literally from your target audience. I would imagine some of those people who who have businesses might also either be in your target audience or know people who are.
Okay.
And then just keep it like 1 to 3 steps. Like, don't create this huge to-do list and then oh my God, do nothing. Right.
Yeah, I do definitely do that with myself. I try and pick that little niche thing, get that done. And then I don't I kind of break down after that, after the big.
You're such a human being.
Yes.
Really, Julia, come on now. Oh my gosh. So what did you guys get? We do need to wrap. So can we just hear, Ellen and Julia, especially, what did you ladies get from the conversation today? Is there a next action step or something else we can support you in? So just give us a final comment, if you would.
I appreciated, I have one huge thing that I keep going around in my head, like doing versus being.
Yes.
And you're a human being, like you just said before that. And giving yourself the space to be and do really can kind of, I don't know, just it makes you want to be able to do your job and enjoy what you're doing.
Totally.
And that's always been my thing. And my mom has always preached to me as well. Go after what you makes you happy.
Mm-hmm.
That's definitely something that doing and being really help out.
That's great. Julia, did did we talk about that last week, the distinction between being and doing, or did you just come up with that right now? Or was that from
No,
the
you
class today?
that was in your PowerPoint, or
In
you
the
said
PowerPoint.
it.
Okay.
Yeah.
You either said it, you used those specific things, but I
Okay,
wrote
so that
doing
was-
versus being, and then I wrote human being. in the-
Okay, that's awesome. That's great feedback, because sometimes I feel like some of my ideas are a little bit abstract, but I do feel like it's wonderful to know that that resonated.
Yeah, definitely
That
did.
made a difference for you. So thank you, Julia.
Yeah.
Ellen, how about you?
I'm definitely walking away really motivated, and I feel like there's some direction now.
Great.
A little less stuck, the gears
Yeah.
are going.
Good. Oh, I love that the
Yeah.
gears are going. I love that.
Yeah, and it's honestly been nice to just like talk to people because I don't get the time to connect often. So
Totally. I know. Leah, weren't you saying, I think it was a few weeks
Literally,
ago.
that's one of my favorite things about this program is I get like weekly like communication and like
is
friends.
it more like, it seems like the internship is almost like a workshop. It's
in certain ways it is. And you basically have like built-in friends in some ways.
That's kind of
They like hung out, and I was like over here, like I'm like Ashley, right? Like you guys told me,
Ashley's, and we like we hung.
I was like,
fun.
we may be virtual, but like it really is, especially now, like people really can feel so disconnected, myself included.
Yeah.
And so it's just, but you bring up something really great, Ellen. I'll just say one of the things to respond to what you said is, after a lot of back and forth, I ended up calling my startup Visions Internships, because it's what the organizations are Googling. They need to find talent, and they often think they need to start with interns, and they're looking for, but they don't always know exactly what it is that they're looking for. But I called it that because it really is where the market is at. They want somebody to coordinate all of this that they don't have time for. But the reality, the inside scoop, is that you guys, young professionals between 19 and 29, are my target audience. You guys are the ones I'm most committed to serving, but we need the organizations in order for you guys to get that hands-on real world experience. But it really isn't just quote unquote another internship, like Leah was saying, and Ashley, it's like, it really is. And I think Ellen, you said it's like an ongoing workshop for your life.
Yeah.
And it's like, it really is a training and development program that kind of fits into your work or school life, wherever you're at. It's very part-time. It's only 6 to 12 hours a week at the most. Although Leah's been and Ashley have been so motivated that they tend to sometimes go above and beyond, but it's not required.
We're working on those.
Yes.
Going back.
Healthy boundaries, as Leah likes to remind me. But Leah or Ashley, ladies, anything that you'd like to say before we...
Yeah, I just want to really reiterate that I before I started, I feel like, Ellen, I was kind of a lot like you. I was in this place where I didn't know what I was doing with my life. I'm about to graduate, and I was like, am I about to graduate and waste a degree that I'm never going to use? I just was feeling really hopeless. And I was like, what am I doing with my life? What kind of job do I want? Am I just going to keep doing the same work that I've been doing? I'm not even going to get a leg up in my career. So I was really feeling hopeless about what is my, where is my career heading? What's this degree even mean? Mm-hmm. And when this opportunity came to me, it felt this landed in my lap, and I was just oh my gosh, thank you. Because I was what am I doing? Okay. I also needed an internship for school, so that was great. But it really I didn't public speaking. I was really more shy, more nervous. I've really kind of taken a leadership role in this group, so that's been amazing. And I've just developed all of these skills that I never saw myself developing, and just becoming confident in areas of my life that I never saw myself being confident in. So I've really flourished into myself as a person. And then I see a future for myself. And I'm just really proud of myself. And on alongside that, I have friends, and this has been my community. The amount of times I've called my partner Madison and literally just cried to her and just been it's been a bad day.
Yeah, that's so special.
Yeah, it is special. And like this whole like group is, I've cried on the thing on Zoom with Amy like more times than I
Me
can
too.
count. Yeah,
I
Amy
started to
too.
tear up when I was writing the affirmations. I'm like, please don't.
Yes. It's just like, so I think I've actually like cried during the whole like Zoom with everyone here. Like it's just a thing.
I was close.
Like it's just like a special group, and like am so thankful for it. So
Yeah, that's so nice.
yeah, it was very, very helpful for me. Ashley, your go.
Okay. Very hard to go after that, but
Sorry.
I'm kind of the same. I went through a lot of shit the past
That's a technical term.
yeah.
She's like,
a lot of crap the past like month and a half. So like if I wasn't in this internship, I would be a wreck right now, which I was a wreck, but now I'm better because thanks to the group and Amy for helping me get through that. So that was good. So that's been really helpful. Appreciate it. Just like our little support group where we also do lots of work and good work. Like it's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think it's really cool. I highly recommend doing the program. You guys should sign up like ASAP. Yeah, so it's been really nice. Like I'm sad that it's ending soon, but
I know
friends.
I'm kind of in denial, Ashley. Actually,
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, you guys gonna like hang out? You're like, no, we're done. Yeah, but and you guys, Leah and Ashley, like I said to them a few times, I'm like, this is not fully baked. This is beta. So we're technically like getting out of beta, but the reality is there's still a lot of opportunity to improve the startup, the infrastructure. So for somebody like a Julia who's thinking about being in business for herself, there's, we'll just say, opportunity that would be mutually beneficial, supporting a founder like myself that we are, and Leah knows, especially because I've been her client as well, which has been an interesting set of hats to wear. That it's not like stuck in the mud. It's not like the only way it could go. It's like you guys have a better idea as to how we could do operations? Well, let me know, so that's kind of a cool aspect that I wish, because I did come from an entrepreneurial sort of bloodline, I'll say, but I was always very disconnected from like how people actually worked for themselves. Like I didn't get it. And then, I sort of wished like, oh, wouldn't it be cool to like almost be like right there, almost like these guys have been almost like co-founders, like, working through kinks and making sure that this is the most beneficial program, especially for the young professionals as well as the org. So I'm just really open-minded. I'll just say, because I go back with you guys, you were in my class, like I'm definitely putting it on the line right now. I'm going through a lot of my own personal strife that I can't even believe I'm still standing. Like, and I am like, this is my life. Like, and I have people that will just say, aren't quite there in terms of what I'm like putting on the line and why. And to me, that makes it that much more special, because I really, really, even if I have days where I forget to believe in myself, I can come back to that. Thank goodness, I have a lot of those sort of tools and abilities, but I can, lean on this amazing, group of young people. God, I'm not going to let them down. I'm not going to let you guys down. Like I'm, like that's what it's about. So that's been a good test for me. Like one of the questions that I asked you guys earlier today is, how will you measure success? And for me, it's like refusing to give up on my dream, and especially the young professionals that absolutely, not only, it's not like you need, it's like you have so much like that's going for you, but you often don't get, I find, and I get feedback from young people all the time, like they don't get like feedback, like they never hear back, whether they're applying for something, people don't like give them that support or have communication. Like they just feel like they're in a hole somewhere. And that's not all that's possible. And of course, people are bound to slip into depression and their lives go off track. And I'm like, no, we can't have that. The world, like, we don't got time for that. Remember that old meme, like, ain't nobody got time for that. Yeah. Like, we got to have like a world to heal. Like, and to have all these young people, like untapped resources, it's like, hell no.
Kind of upsetting.
Right? Totally upsetting. But you guys, it is 2:00. I am between you and your weekend, I think. So thank you for staying on. This was really enriching and inspiring for me. Definitely. I hope everybody got something to take away and to, you know, just take that one action in the direction of your goals and dreams, just one thing.
Yeah.
And when you take
I'm
that one
excited to do
step, like it opens
Yeah.
up. And yeah, keep me posted, Julia. That I think that idea of a focus group is really great. And it's just, again, like we had talked about, it's like when you have a community of people that are kind of individually pursuing their passions and doing purposeful work, it like things start popping. Whereas if you overthink and you're only in your head and you have nobody to talk to and you think you're just trying to figure it out on your own, like you can feel stuck for a long time. So take the one action, get in communication. I'm hoping you guys will apply for the program. That would be amazing. But
I'm interested,
you know,
definitely.
the thing is one of the things, and actually Leah had to bounce off. I know she's got some family stuff going on. But is the she had said, Amy, don't do interviews. You should just do like open office hours, like open chat. So like we're gonna have like the next couple weeks of between now and when the applications are due, where we can just like have times. I did you guys actually, were you able to open up that link?
Yeah.
And that, again, it's okay. And I'll just say that I did it and I was never a web designer. So it's okay. It is what it is. But if you see that there's some times in there that I've scheduled out, like blocked out some times for like open office hours, if you guys want to have another chat or kind of do a little bit more of a one-on-one to kind of understand better what you get from the program. So just let me know and I'll follow up as well. You'll hear from me because remember, the secret to success is. So we'll wrap this up. And then Ashley, I know you wanted to chat. Do you want to do an audio call or I don't know what your game plan is. I have a little.
And here, or whatever you want to do.
Okay, I think we'll wrap up here. I'm gonna, and so Julia and Ellen, goodbye.